All right. Cameras
We're
set.
back.
Action. Don't say it yet. I
Cut.
say action.
Fuck.
Oh, that was horrible. I was going to do a whole thing to let everyone know I've been on a set before.
Dude, I've been camping. I've just got back into civilization. I'm like Tom Hanks at the end of Castaway. I'm all over the place.
I feel bad for you because you sign up to do a tour. It's a tour bus. It's Louis. It's theaters. And then I heard you were camping, and I was like, you're not, Jews don't camp. Well, a few did.
It's like yeah, a couple of us really went hard at the end. We made up for last time. Well, now Jews love summer camp, but that's camp. Like, yeah, I'm not like a big outdoors. I mean, I love the outdoors. I don't like sleeping outdoors, Do
you love the outdoors?
Yeah, I like walking around in the woods and shit. I just don't like I don't like being in a tent,
Yeah, it's intense.
It's intense.
You slept on a bus, didn't you? It's not.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was very much
what a giant misrepresentation of what's going on. People are like, oh wow, Ronan's camping. He slept in a fucking tour bus with a millionaire.
Yeah. But it's like these Japanese little like beds, like in a curtain. It's just like weird. I'm like sleeping like when Kramer has the three Japanese guys in the drawers,
Oh yeah.
It's like me and Robert in just two drawers,
Super terrific happy hour. Those got to be some big drawers.
They're pretty big. He got the bigger one, but it's it's just that I have my rituals. I got my rituals every day.
Yeah, of course. We're almost 40 years old. You're a Jew. I mean, we want to live our lives accordingly.
But then suddenly Louis is just like, let's go camping for the next 4 days. I'm like, like I got my rituals. And then Bobby's immediately like, sure, I'll kill a bear or whatever. I'm just like, okay, sure.
He is a bear.
Yeah, it's but so then we went camping and it was fun. It was fun to hike. They both like, I think Bobby knows what he's doing. And then Louis pretends to like be like a man of the woods, which is really fun. Like we literally walked by shit on a hiking trail, and he like looked down at it. I thought he was gonna lick it, like an old like lion hunter or something. But he's like, "Oh, that's antelope shit. That's definitely antelope shit." I'm like, "What antelope?
Antelope?
Are
you guys in Africa?"
Yeah. He was like, "That's definitely some kind of antelope." Like what?
Did he really say that?
Iowa. Yeah.
Antelope in Iowa? I mean, I have to do some research. Well, first of all, our fans, they're going to shit on if we even say anything about Louis. They'll be like, he's a fucking genius, you idiots. But antelope doesn't sound right in Iowa. I'd have to do a little Google.
I'm telling you, it's like watching them hike. It's like watching Robert Sean Dreyfuss and Jaws. It's just like two machismos coming at it. Louis is like, I think this way is the way back to camp. And Robert's like, no. Bobby's like, no, it's the other way. And then they're just kind of fighting. And then Louis is like, you got your hands look like you've been counting money all night. It's just like such a. I'm just sitting there like Roy Scheider. Like these are two crazy people.
Boy, that doesn't sound great. But the shows are great, I'm sure.
The shows are fun, and no, it's awesome. And camping was also nice. It's nice to be like, fires are cool.
Yeah, I love fire.
Bobby telling me about horror stories from when he was a kid. By the time I was getting a bar mitzvah, he was already in AA. It's just like insane.
Yeah, I was 3 years old when Bobby got sober from drugs and alcohol.
It's insane.
And he's like 50.
Yeah, it's insane. Like,
yeah, he got sober when he was like 9.
Yeah. I was just, he was just telling stories, and like sometimes you don't like to hear someone just tell a monologue, but his stories are so interesting. I was like, all right, I got nothing. I can't like compete with this,
Right.
But yeah, it's been really fun. It's cool to be there. He's editing the movie.
Yeah, it's exciting. He had to call me to be like, just so you know, Ronan and Bobby are going to see the movie before you, and it makes me want to kill myself.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I bet Joe would be so annoyed right now just that he's like editing in front of us.
Well, I got a bunch of
it looks
clips. Great. Does it?
Mm-hmm.
I assume I want to talk to all your friends and be like, let me see your text from Ronan, because I don't trust you at all. I think you hate it. I think you hate me. And
I've only seen a little of it. It looks great. It looks really great. Beautiful shots. Good acting. Yeah, Nick DiPaolo.
Why not mention me first and then throw out DiPaolo?
Well,
why not be like, you're acting? I'm really impressed. And plus, Nick DiPaolo. How hard is that?
Can I tell you why? I actually haven't seen like a clip of you acting yet.
I'm in every scene.
I've only seen I've seen very little. I've only seen like some monologue of Nick's and like Very little. I have actually not seen you act, but I've seen like stills of you. You look good in the stills.
Yeah, you're goddamn right I do.
Louis said you look like a mixture. We were talking about what you look like.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you know what Louis said? I thought he was going to say something like, fuck it, I don't know, whatever, like, Elmo or whatever shit,
You're Elmo.
I thought he was going to say two puppets or whatever, bird and earth. He goes, he's like a mix of Gregory Peck and Jimmy Stewart. He said that like you look physically are like that.
Wow.
Is that true?
I don't know. I was thinking like Steve Buscemi and fucking and Sheryl Crow, but
I know Gregory Peck and Jimmy Stewart.
I can see Jimmy Stewart. So anyway,
well, I mean, he's saying physically, not like an impression. Yeah, it's pretty good. I want him to tell me who I look like. Probably say like Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio.
Well, that's exciting. You get to be there. I hope it's going to be an exciting film. When do you come back?
October 6th.
Oh, wow. That is a long run.
Yeah, it's a long run. And I think we're going to go camping 4 other times. And we're going to see Mount Rushmore. We're going to go by South Dakota.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be
Watch out for the elephants.
What elephants?
It's a joke.
But what's the joke? You can't just say it's a joke angrily.
There's antelope in Iowa. We just talked about how there's antelope in Iowa. And you said you're going to South Dakota. I said, watch out for the elephants. Well, it's very good.
I mean, elephants aren't an antelope, but yeah, Serengeti animal. Yeah.
Well, what am I going to do? Pick antelope again? Have you ever written a joke? You need a different animal. I mean, how is that not?
All right, fine.
We're talking about antelope in Iowa, and you say we're going to South Dakota, and I say watch out for the elephants. I mean, how is that not just a perfect?
I've been in the woods. I'm trying to get back to civilization. I don't even know what a callback is anymore. I'm trying to like relearn civilization. It's like I'm like Tom Hanks and you're Helen Hunt right now. It's going to take me a little while. I went camping for a night with the tour bus.
Do I look like Helen Hunt?
You look a little like a mixture of Helen Hunt and Naomi Watts. That's kind of what you look like.
I'll take it. All right, we got to get into this because
let's get into it.
I mean, although last time I looked at some comments and they were like, I liked everything until they started reviewing the movie. So maybe we shouldn't. But now I'm interested to hear your take because you were very skeptical. You didn't want to do it. You kept saying no to this. I tried 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Finally, you came around. You were skeptical. You texted me. You alluded to perhaps you don't hate these as much as you thought you were gonna.
Well, it was really funny because I was like, let's just do a back and forth book club thing where we decide separately each week. And then I was like, it was your week. And I was like, you can decide whatever you want. And you're like, let's do Evil Dead. I was like, sure, unless you want to do something. I was like immediately like, sure, we can do Evil Dead. Or I literally was not wanting to do it to the point where I suggested watching The Lobster again. But can I explain why I don't like this type of movies? I think
yes, but I also think you don't know what type of movie it is.
Yes, that's definitely true. I definitely did not, but I had a sense it was like a B movie that people love.
Yes.
Right? And I'm a lonely guy, right?
Absolutely.
I don't have a wife. I don't have so when I watch movies.
Nor will you ever.
Will I ever? So when I watch, I don't like bad movies to make fun of because I'm alone watching them. And I can't just laugh with myself. You understand?
I'm the same way. I understand. I feel that way. Absolutely. And you can't even do it with a wife. You need like 7 people to watch.
You need like 7
movie.
comics. So I'm kind of forced to watch good movies because I can't just be like, look at that bad acting and then turn and no one's there and then I just cry. So that's why I don't like B movie type things because I have no one to make fun of it with because I'm lonely. So like recommending it reminds me of my loneliness. Hold on, the morning train is coming.
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear it? Ah, fuck.
No, but it sounds like a Dylan song. But this isn't a bad movie. These are very good movies that are made with a low budget.
Well, let's talk about that because I've heard that it's funny and all this shit. And I'm like, what kind of funny? You know what I mean? Is the B movie funny? Are they being funny? Are we being funny? So I watched the first one first.
Which is not funny.
It's
a horror movie.
I felt a little anger towards you while watching it. Like just the recommendation. I was like, but I don't get it. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, well, first of all, you know how much I hate demonic possession shit.
Yes, but I also know how much you like jump scares, which is this is jump scare central.
The first one?
There's a lot. Are there not?
I think it's a little like it's kind of dated now, and it's very dated now. And so I'm just kind of first of all, it fails the number one test of a horror movie, which is like if the acting's bad, like it's hard to get into. The acting is shit from the get-go. Like the opening scene in the car, they're just like, maybe it's a dump. And then the other actress is like, maybe it's not. And then the white guy is like, yeah, maybe it's not. It's just like fucking retarded acting right away.
I mean, first of all, they're all white guys. I mean, they're all white.
They're boring. I couldn't keep track of who was hit. Like I could not. Like at one point, one of them's their sister, one of them's their girlfriend. I had no idea who was getting killed. Wait, like so the women were all replaceable.
You're saying the first test of a horror movie is the acting?
Yes, because a horror movie is so ridiculous that it needs good acting. Otherwise, it just feels it. All the best horror movies have good acting. That's an essential part of it. And you got to admit right away, the acting is this is not exactly Jack Nicholson in The Shining here. Even though the opening shot is literally The Shining.
Which, by the way, we don't even like Jack Nicholson's acting in The Shining.
Well,
we did a whole episode about it.
I don't like it. I think it hurts some of the stakes, but it's still like, and like this is just like, who the fuck? Like you don't care about any of these people. We're agreeing on that, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm going to agree with a lot of the stuff and disagree with some, I guess. But the first Evil Dead, it's a low budget horror movie. Yes, it's a fun horror movie. It's not, Rosemary's Baby. This is not.
This is a movie that was really cool when it came out.
Yes,
but that was a long time ago.
Don't you think it's better than Friday the 13th?
I've never seen
and Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it is considerably better than both of those movies. If you rewatch those movies, which I won't suggest, which first of all, everything that you suggest we don't do.
Well,
you're like, we should record on Saturdays at 2. Never done it once. You're like, let's record Wednesday at 11. Didn't do it. You're like, you pick a movie. I'm like, how about these two? You're like, how about not?
But okay, fine. But we're on it. I watch the fucking movies. I watch a movie that I hated, and then watch the second one, which is like a remake. It was like a trick. I'm like, oh, we're doing this again. But like, but I actually like the second one a little more. But like,
the second one's amazing.
Let's just talk about the first one. Let's stick to the first one. Do you like the first one?
Well, I do like it, but it is not. I am not in the Evil Dead cult. I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh my God. By the way, my favorite movie of the three of them is probably the third one, which we didn't watch, which is just a straight up comedy. When I was a kid, it was like my favorite movie.
I watched some of it. It was very funny.
I got the magnet on my fridge. I just love the third one because it's pure comedy. And my friends and I were obsessed with it. I mean, that's when we were totally into it. But
we're not talking about like the one really good one.
Well, I mean, that movie's silly too. Evil Dead 2 is the best movie. The third one is the funniest movie. Don't you think?
I only saw half the third one. We were watching the when we went camping in the intense primitive camping we did. We watched the Army of Darkness in the tour bus. But what I saw was really funny. It's just so insane. It was also it's just so weird that it goes like suddenly we're in like Monty Python world. It's just so like but it's like Holy Grail type looks. But let's focus on the first one, because like, what do people? I get that when it came out, it was okay. So I appreciate the fact that the guy was 20, he had very little money. It's that kind of movie, right?
Yes.
It's like, wow, that's really impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, but it's now like 50 years later, and I didn't see it when it came out, and I'm like, to me, it's like watching the first camera of a guy sneezing on film. You're like, yeah, at the time, people were like, oh my God, I'm afraid snot's going to get on me. But now I'm just like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? It's impressive at the time, but that's what a movie's kind of limited when it's all about how did they get it done. The great movies, you're not like, how did they make it? You know what I mean? You're like, this is a great movie, But like, I get that it was cool at the time, but like, who gives a shit now? There's no characters and it's not funny.
Yes, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. First of all, but they do that with great movies. I mean, like Rocky, people talk about what a low budget it was and how they had to cheat certain things. I mean, there are conversations about these things with great movies.
But it's not the only conversation.
I don't think that's the only
conversation of Rocky.
I don't think that's the only conversation with Evil Dead, too. I mean, this movie is well reviewed. I mean, like...
Why?
95% of people, because it's a horror movie, and you're putting it like you're going, why isn't this The Godfather? It's a fucking horror movie. Like we said before, horror movies are stupid and silly. There's like maybe 3 horror movies that are like really great movies. It's a silly genre.
It is a silly genre, but I get no. There's horror movies that have good characters and shit. I guess I start with the character. Even in a good horror movie, the good horror movies have interesting characters on some, at least characters you care about. Who the fuck are? If you don't care about someone, you don't care if they get raped by a fucking tree, right? That's the best part, by the way. I think you should have told me that was happening in it.
Well, first
That's my
of all,
favorite porn, tree rape.
It is. It's not high art. It's Evil Dead. It's a low budget.
Well, then why are they getting such great reviews? It's not high art, but then everyone's like, "This is the greatest." Like,
but they're not 95%. They're saying it's fun and well done. It's not. People aren't like this. Godfather, 8.5. Evil Dead, The Bicycle Thief, fucking Cuckoo's Nest.
I get that, but there are fun, like American Werewolf in London is fun. That's a fun horror movie. It's funny, it's scary. Like that movie holds up. I guess I don't. Cabin in the Woods was like a fun movie. Maybe it's just like Evil Dead was really fun at the time. I didn't see it as a kid.
Right. No, I understand. And by the way, again, it's not my favorite movie. I'm not one of these guys that's like, what? You don't like this movie? I get it. And it's a movie that I'm like, I don't even watch straight through. I pause, which is a sign of a movie that's not great. I'm pausing and going, let me look at my phone, whatever.
Wait,
it's
you fucking pause? I didn't fucking, yeah. I mean,
well, I've seen it before. I didn't pause the first time.
I guess I thought like it's so, okay. So let me, so a lot of people watched this as a kid. It was very scary. Are you mad I didn't laugh at the Santa Claus slide?
No, I'm laughing. Okay. I'm mad because you said okay 7 times in a row.
Okay.
You're like, okay,
I thought you're mad at me that I didn't laugh at this, like it was like the elephant thing again.
No, the elephant thing I'm still upset about. Santa pause is, whatever. Menopause, Santa pause. But
so I get that, like as a kid it was like scary, but you're watching it now, it's just like, I don't know. It's okay. So let's start from like, when
you have a thought, just start it. There's a lot of okay, buts.
Well, I'm trying to think of where to go. Like, so the movie begins. They get to the house, right?
Yes.
There's no setup for who anyone is. You don't know who anyone is, so you don't really care. And then right away they find the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple parts that are just kind of funny to make fun of, like which if I had someone with me, it would have been real fun because. There's one part where the thing pops open, that door,
mm-hmm.
and the woman suggests maybe it's an animal, which is a very valid guess. And the guy treats her like she's retarded. He's like, yeah, it's an animal, you fucking dumb bitch. It's like, do you remember that part? It's like, why can't it be an animal? That seems like the best guess.
Right. Well,
and he's just like, you fucking dumb whore, animal. What are you doing? Chicks in the woods. It's a sound in a cellar of a cabin. Right. What else could it be?
It's the demon, baby. It's the Evil Dead.
She's like, animal, and he's like, animal? You fucking moron. So then they get the thing out, and it's just like the movie starts right here. It's like such a like press play on the movie kind of thing, And then, I don't know. I guess I think like I felt like the motivation in the movie was always kind of weird, like there's one part where there's a sound outside, right?
Yes, many parts.
But the first part, and then that woman just goes outside.
Mm-hmm.
She just goes outside alone in the woods. And she's like, who's out there? I can hear something come out. And she's a woman alone in the woods. And it's like, what do you think? What good can come of this? Like someone's going to come out of the woods and be like, oh yeah, it was me. I was scaring you. And now I'm going to rape you. Like, why would she like be so?
But isn't this the reverse argument that you just made?
What?
Well, you hear a noise. You're like, oh, it's probably an animal. You hear a noise outside. You're like, let me go see what that is. You're not thinking, oh, it's probably a demon fucking tree that's going to rape my pussy.
Yeah, but she's talking to it. She's like, who's out there? Come out. Like she's saying, like, she's assuming there's a guy out there in the woods making sounds. And she's assuming I should try to give that guy a talking to.
But also, it's a horror movie. That's what happens in horror movies because you're sitting at home going, why would you be doing this? That's the point of a horror movie. It's not a fucking again like an art house fucking talkie.
For
whatever.
Me, it's not about art house. It's just about motivation. It's like I can already hear the YouTube comments. Oh, there's not enough motivation. I just hear That's the thing about the show. Like you already hear the thing they're gonna make fun of you for, but it's like I do want to I want to be that person and be afraid with that person. But if you're like dumb bitch, if someone's in the woods, it's not gonna go well. Don't talk to them. If you're looking down on them, how are you scared? The best.
Have you heard of fun? Do you like fun? Do you enjoy fun?
But I'm alone in my apartment. I have no one to make fun of it with.
It's not make fun of though. You go, oh my God, what are you doing here? You crazy kook. Get back in the house.
You're like with your wife. You're happy. I'm alone. I got no one to make fun of it with.
Also, remember, you're watching a horror movie. She doesn't know she's in a horror movie.
Right. But
so she's going, hey, what is this? What's going on out here?
But she's talking to it like it's a person. You understand? Like, would you ever go out in the woods alone in the middle of the night where there's no one there and be like, if you're out there, come out right now?
Well, there is people there. There's friends in the house.
No, but she's saying it to the people in the woods, not in the house. She's assuming there's someone making sounds in the woods in the middle of the night that she should talk to.
Because it's fun. We're having fun at the movies.
I don't like fun. I like funny or scary. I'm not into this fun bullshit. It's in the middle. What the fuck is fun? Fun is fun. Fun is good if you have a group of friends.
Well, get some friends. You're a loser. That's what this is about. Well, get some friends. Bring some friends over. You watch Evil Dead. You make some popcorn. It's Halloween season or whatever the fuck. It's the fall.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Because I watched the second one with fucking Louie and Bobby, and I had a great time.
Oh, you did watch it with them?
I watched the second one with friends.
And the second one is better.
Yeah, but the second one's actually like very funny at times.
It's hilarious.
I almost wanted to watch the first one with friends because it's not that funny. So you need people to make fun of it with you. But the second one, it's like I probably would have enjoyed that on my own.
Why don't we have them as guests if they watched it? That would be so much better and more fun.
Because I've seen them for the last 36 hours straight. I can't.
I get it. Believe me, I get it.
I can't see them anymore.
But yeah, I mean, first of all, let's also talk about there's some great cinematic moments in here. Don't you see and respect some of the direction and cinematography they had that they pulled off?
He loves to rig the camera on the thing, and he really loves. I feel like the first one, he really like just made it so he could rig cameras on things to move through the woods. He really likes that. And I guess that's cool.
But there's so many fun things, and they pulled off some amazing stuff on a really low budget. That it's a difficult thing. You got to acknowledge that it's at least a good accomplishment, and
yes,
I would say that it is fun. But you don't understand fun.
It is a great accomplishment in 1972 or whenever the movie came out. But if you didn't watch it as a kid, which I didn't, and you're watching it now, I'm kind of objectively just telling you doesn't really hold up.
I'm not saying it's the greatest movie of all time. I just think it's fun and there's some really fun moments. But yeah, I'm not overly invested in the characters. I'm not emotional when they die. I'm not fucking like, you got to see this, everybody.
Well, it's also
not a movie that I tell people, I'm like, you have got to see the first Evil Dead.
But let me ask you this, though. Like, just on a pure, like, do you think it's scary? Like, just because I don't find it really scary.
Movies are scary because I'm 40 years old. I'm not, I think like
I'm afraid of cancer. Give me a fucking movie about cancer. That's scary.
Yeah. I watch a documentary about climate change. I find that scary. I fucking find what has happened to our society via Twitter scary. Yeah. I find
I haven't done my taxes in 3 years. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. My father doesn't say hello when I walk in a room. I find that scary. It's a movie. I mean, it's a goofy movie.
Yeah, but I guess I do find some movies scary and I guess I do find. I mean, I think The Conjuring is really scary. I guess I do. Like, if you get caught up in it, I guess I do think it can be scary.
Isn't that demonic-y too, possession-y, whatever the fuck?
Well, that's the ending, bullshit. Which is retarded. And this is like the whole movie's the ending. Because this whole movie ends up being just like 3 different women. Some of the makeup's good. Some of the makeup, it just looks like they're just wearing too much makeup. That's like their like demonic thing.
Yes.
And then it's just them giggling in this way that's not as scary as it's just like and then it's like, join us. And I'm like, it's not really like, and then it's just them. I mean, it's basically just watching them dismember women the whole time.
My thing is, Why not just join? When I'm watching, I'm like this. Yeah, it seems like fun. They're always like, join us. And they're like, no. But I feel like I'd be like, all right, yeah, that seems fun. I'll hide in a basement, wear makeup, and scare people.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I would just totally give up on fighting this because he goes through a lot of shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially the second one. At a certain point, I'm like, just give up. This is too much. This is awful. Like, there's no like, you can't win. That's the other thing I have. I think I may have a problem with these types of movies is that like, be, because like, okay, so like, there's a lot of times where like the camera's just chasing them,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very unclear. It's all abstract. Like, there's nothing. You're not like, ooh, that's Jaws. You know, you're just like the camera's chasing them, but it's not like a demonic person. It's just like abstractly a spirit, I guess.
Yes.
Which I think hurts it too, because you're like, all right, what's chasing them? Like, it's just like, it's a very abstract thing, you know?
You know what it is? It's fun. We're having fun at the movies.
Do you really have that much fun watching again? Can
Not really.
I feel like you could just admit that it's just not that good anymore.
It's not great. I'm not saying it's great, but you're forcing my hand here to be like, did you not? Are you not entertained? That's what I say. But I love the blood dripping out of the outlets. Isn't that fun to you? The blood dripping on the projection screen. Isn't those fun things? They're fun tricks, which is what a horror movie is to me. Is some like, how do you depict this a little bit differently? How do you have some fun with it? And let's just enjoy a horror. To me, that's what a horror movie is. I go to a horror movie. I'm not looking to be moved or even scared. I just want to have some stylization and have a little fun. To me, a horror movie is fun, but maybe I'm approaching it differently. I
guess just for me, fun is just a thing. Like fun is something you can have with friends, I guess. So yeah, if I'm with a bunch of people, it makes a big difference, you know. But I watched a movie alone, and I didn't like it as a kid, and it's like, so to me, it's like, if I watch a movie alone, I need it to be at least funny or scary. Right. And it was neither. It's neither funny or scary.
What do you think of Friday the 13th? You ever watch Friday the 13th?
I've never watched that, but I'm sure it's dog shit. But that's a movie that was dog. All those fucking horror movies are dog shit. Halloween is fucking dog shit. It's maybe it was groundbreaking at the time,
right?
But now it's literally just a guy in a mask just killing people for no reason. There's like no plot. Like it's dog shit. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree. It's great music. And yeah, I agree. But I feel like Evil Dead was underrated compared to those because it wasn't as successful as those. And I think it's better than Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's better than Friday the 13th. I think it's better than Halloween, which are like sort of these big three of those fucking blockbustery, popcorny, whatever the bullshit.
What are the good horror movies? There's like 5 of them, right?
I know. Well, we've talked about this before. To me, the great scary movies aren't like horror movies. Like Silence of the Lambs is a great movie with fucking scary people in it, and it makes you unnerved and unsettled. Jaws is another one that's like, it's not a horror movie, but it has fucking scary shit in it.
The Vanishing affects me more than any horror movie.
Of course.
Because it's like them being buried alive while the family's eating food above them, like on the there's that like fucks with you, you know? So that to me, I guess it's like, I guess it's hard. Once you get into supernatural shit, it's hard. But I'd say the best ones, I mean, Rosemary's Baby is great. Even that's more of a thriller, but like that's Rosemary's Baby, The Shining, and The Conjuring.
Well, we like thrillers. I mean, I don't find The Shining scary either.
No, but it's like interesting to watch, I guess. You know,
of course, yes, it's beautiful, and that's what I'm saying. Is that's what you can bring to horror, because I'm not a person. Horror, being scared by movies is for fucking children at a sleepover who are like, oh. No, I mean, I'm not a guy that watches a scary movie and goes, oh my God, is somebody in the fucking bathroom right now?
But some of those movies do affect you. Like, I want to bring these up so people don't think I just don't like horror. I love Midsommar. Did you see Midsommar?
Yes.
Loved it. You know, like it?
I liked it.
First of all, I thought it was really funny, but I thought a lot of that stuff really affected me. Like, it was like fucked up and gross and made you think about how bodies are like vegetation and there's no real distinction between the body and the fucking the vegetation. It really created a disturbing feeling in you. I thought that's a movie that really affected me. But I mean, I guess most horror movies I just don't give a shit. And I'm not a big gore guy with horror movies. So like a lot of this movie is him just like cutting up like heads and arms, and I guess I'm not as into like gore.
So did you hate An Inconvenient Truth?
An Inconvenient Truth because that's Gore, or because it's
Al Gore.
Oh,
It's his movie. You need to get back to New York. I'm concerned for you. But no, I mean, I'm playing Devil's Douche here. This is not Evil Dead. It's the fall. It's I mean, what? What?
Just pulled an airplane. I have a drinking problem.
What? That needs to be a GIF or a GIF, whatever the fuck it's called. What happened? Are you drinking someone else's water that you didn't want to touch your lips?
No, it just fell out. I think I have Parkinson's. I don't know. I like drop things all the time, and like I like just spill things out of nowhere. I don't know. It's bad.
That was insane. I'm so bummed that you're moving into my house. And then last night I saw Jordan Fisher and he's like, oh man, I'm looking for a place. And I'm like, shit, I blew it. I could have had like handsome, cool black guy living upstairs.
Yeah, you could have had some diversity, but it's fucking
You're the opposite of all those things.
I guess I'm the most diverse person there because I'm Jewish.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Possibly not, you know, you're retarded.
Oh,
possibly.
Okay.
I couldn't think of a sweet way to say it,
Well,
but
yeah,
I mean, what I just saw is just.
Well, maybe you could get a tax credit, like you have a dependent or something.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, look into that.
Maybe we can get one of those wheelchair things installed in the stairs too.
All right, let's talk about Evil Dead 2 because we got to do a Patreon after this. We're gonna get killed for not having a Patreon. We haven't had it for a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna do a bonus, but Evil Dead 2. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I watched it with them all, which made it a lot more fun. At first, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because
it's a weird sequel because it's basically a remake more than a sequel,
which they don't explain. So I guess they let people figure that out in the theater. Like, are they? Because at first you're like, does Bruce Campbell not remember going into the woods before?
He never references being in this house before. The house is destroyed in the first one. It's back to normal. The book is destroyed in the first one. It's back to normal.
But at
it's
first
a little weird.
At first, you're like, I guess this didn't leave much of an impression on him the first time. But yeah, and then you realize that it's hilarious because they remake it with even less setup. Like, it's like, let's do it again. Even less about the people. It's only two of them. And he's like, literally, I've never seen shit happen so quickly, which is pretty funny. He's literally cut off his girlfriend's head in the first like 2.5 minutes. Like, it's insane how quick it is.
I know, and how beautiful. And this is where it gets better cinematically. They do a lot of really great, fun stuff. I mean, the head in the vice, and then it cuts to the shadow of the chainsaw going through, and the blood sprays all over the wall, and it hits the light bulb, and everything's all red. I mean, is that not fun? Are you not watching that and being like, this is fun. This is good stuff.
I like that part too, because it's just really funny to have like the goriest movie ever, and then just suddenly not show something. Like, just have the shadows.
Right.
Like, it was just funny for them to like treat it suddenly like, ooh, we won't show it, even though you just literally saw like someone's lungs get ripped out of their eyes or whatever.
Well, it's very homage, and there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of winky stuff where they're winking at the camera. I mean, I think it's a big influence on Tarantino. I've never heard him say that, but I mean, you have the chainsaw on the hand, Rich Rodriguez, all those guys. I mean, you literally have him picking up the chainsaw and then the gun, which feels like it's straight out of Pulp Fiction or reverse.
You know what it is? It's like badass. It's like a new type of badass thing, which Tarantino, uses. Like, this, because he becomes pretty badass in this movie. He's kind of like a bit of a little bitch originally.
Right. Badass.
Badass. Which, by the way, I didn't realize his name was Ashley.
Yeah.
What a tough name that the full name is a woman's name. Ash is like the coolest name ever, but it's short for Ashley.
It'd be like if your name was Sin and then you turned out Cynthia.
Yeah. But it's I mean, like, at first I'm like, what the hell is this? This is insane. Like, so much happens right away. Like, he's like, I thought the movie was going to go into the ending credits after like 10 minutes. So much happened.
Because it's fun. We get right into it. Let's go. Let's get right into it. And then we have comedy. I mean, it's like the fucking Three Stooges. The scene where when his hand is possessed and he's pulling himself up.
No, that's amazing.
Like this. It's so good. And then I love that shot on the ground towards the butcher knife. And then he gets surprised when he brings the knife up. I mean, that stuff is great. I mean, those are great cinema.
It's really funny. It is funny. Like, it's like, this is not serious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny. Also, they made a whole movie based on just that one sequence, Idle Hands, where like his hand takes over. Like, that's a whole like horror movie from the 90s where it was Jessica Alba.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his hand like it's possessed and it does shit on his own. He definitely grabs her ass a couple times. That's like I think one of the ongoing jokes. But yeah, no, that hand thing is hilarious. His reaction to cutting off his hand is hilarious because he's like his hand just becomes his enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has no conflict about that. He's like, "You're going down."
Right.
He like
no,
cuts
it's
his own
great.
hand off.
At
Like,
one point, he puts a stack of books on his hand, and the top book is Farewell to Arms.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, no, the second one is very fun, and it is actually fun. Like, see, that's fun. Like, that's a fun shit is happening. Like, and it's also, by the way, the second one's also very surreal in a cool way. Like, there's a part where all the things in the room are like talking to him, like the deer on the wall, the lamps. Like there's like a Pixar lamp talking to him, and it's like, oh, this is like actually pretty cool, surreal kind of shit. This could be like an art house movie, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
I like the second one. The second one is fun. It is very fun. And there's like a lot of like there's a lot of hilarious, like the acting is so bad, but it's like the acting felt like purposefully bad in the second one, and it did not feel purposefully bad in the first one.
Yes, well, the first one they're trying to make a horror movie, and horror movies it's hard to act great, as we talk about, in a bad script. I mean, it's not a great script. The first Evil Dead is not. It's not a fucking like wonderful script. You wouldn't just sit at a coffee shop reading that script.
No, it's bad. I mean, there's one part in the first Evil Dead where like after she gets raped by the tree, he literally, one of the guy who called the person a retard or maybe it was Bruce Campbell, he literally says to her with a straight face, "Trees do not attack people." Like, that's not a line you would ever have to like inform someone about. You never have to remind someone like, oh, in case you thought trees attack people, they don't. Like, it's bad lines.
But horror movies don't have the logic like that. That's the point of a horror movie to me. A fun horror movie is that you're like, there's somebody in the house. There's not anybody in the house. Who would be in the house? And then there's a guy behind him. I mean, that's part of the fun. You don't like break down horror movies to like a logical conversation.
Well, I don't know. I guess I need a little of it. But look, let's stop arguing. I agree. The second one is very fun. The acting is purposely bad. It's not purposely bad in the first one.
Yes,
it's purposely bad. I mean, it's hilarious. Like the woman who, like the daughter of the parents, when she's like, just her acting is bad so quickly, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's that hilarious thing too, which is we talked about before, where in like 80s movies and shit, like we talked about it with the Surfboard Point Break. It's funny how quickly people hate each other in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she meets that other girl, like on the road, you know, like they hate each other so quickly for no reason. She's just like, they're just looking at each other and they're just enemies immediately.
Yeah, that's the realest thing in the movie, though.
Two women hating each other immediately.
You know that Family Guy joke? We've talked about it before.
What is it?
It's one of the Star Wars spoofs, and they bump into the other. She's the only other woman in the whole galaxy. I don't like her. That's great.
But yeah, no, it's let me see if I had any other notes. But yeah, no, I thought the second one was very fun.
Well, don't you think horror movies are always over-explained? That's what's so fun about this movie. You jump right in it, and there's not that much explanation. You just go, okay, great. There's a fucking crazy possessed. The Evil Dead have taken over. That's what I like in a horror movie. This is what I always talk about with horror movies, including the one I saw most recently, The Cabin, Night Cabin, Goofy Cabin, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, I saw that. Maybe we should talk about that on the Patreon.
All right, we'll talk about it. Yeah, but it's always, once they start explaining, I'm like, you lost me. It's always a child who got fucking fingered at church, and now Satan lives in her asshole. It's just
like a Caribbean woman to say some weird metaphor, you know. Yeah, it's just
I hate it. But that's what I like about these movies is like, fuck all that shit. We're just here. There's crazy, evil, dead people possessing, and they take over his hand, and it's crazy, and he has to fucking cut his hand off and put a chainsaw on.
Yeah, it has a hilarious lack of setup, and to the point where it's like it's so aware that it's a movie. Like when they play the sound thing again, the recording, it literally does feel like we're pressing play on the movie.
Right?
Like, it's like, here we go. And by the way, you know what I think this movie was a big influence on is video games. Maybe people have talked about this. The second one feels like a video game so much because it's like it opens with that intro, which feels like straight out of a video. Like the intro is the book and the graphics and that
Right.
feels like literally like the bad intro of a video game. And then so many of the things in the movie are like, we now have to go into the cellar to get the notes, but there's a demon zombie down there. That feels like like the next step in a video game, like the newer, not like old shit, like the shit now that's like really well done, you know?
Right.
The whole thing felt like a video game to me, but it was a fun video game.
Yeah, I think video games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I like the second one. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, by the end, I'm a little exhausted. There's just so much gore.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the first movie and the second movie. It's like, it's not a movie. I'm like, what? If you have friends, I agree. If you have friends, you're watching it straight through, you're laughing, you're high-fiving, you're having a good time. By yourself, it's like, I'm not just popping on Evil Dead and sitting there for an hour and 40 minutes.
It's a little draining to watch so much blood and gore
and noise.
It's like a little like, because you're just watching people get beat up over and over and over again. And I know it's all fun, but after a while, you feel yourself that you've been like beat up, you know?
And it is like,
yeah,
like an hour and a half.
It's a lot of like crazy sounds. But yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, yeah, it's a fun movie. It's fun.
The editing is pretty amazing. I love it. There's a lot of jump scares, which I know you like.
There was a couple good jump scares. I didn't see any in the first one, but there was a couple good jump scares in the second one. Yeah. The graphics are good. I mean, it's weird now because it's all claymation, so it just feels like you're watching Beetlejuice, you know?
Right.
Like it's like very Tim Burton-y now.
But when her naked body, headless naked body with tits is running around with a chainsaw, I mean, how are you feeling? Aren't you going, I'm entertained right now?
Yes. I was actually like, that's really beautiful. That's the part of the movie that's very surreal. Like it felt like a very surreal, cool thing. Yeah, I love that part. It was kind of hot too.
Yeah, it is a little sexy. I mean, tits, any kind of fake tits, real tits.
It's a testament to tits that even when you're looking at a headless woman who's kind of rotting, you're still like, well, they're nice tits. Like it's a real tits really survive a lot.
Yeah. Is this a funny joke that I wrote into the other day? I'm like, tits never get old. The idea of tits, individual tits get very old.
The idea of tits never get old. Yeah. They're always like, it's always kind of exciting. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about sex in general. It's kind of like, it's the one thing that doesn't have diminished returns unless it's the same person. Then it's all
I'm glad you said that because I was going to counter argue, but
but like in general, the idea of sex never like, kind of always into it, you know?
You want to have it, but it does get less, don't you think? Like when I was a kid or a teenager in my 20s, I mean, I would jerk off like literally 3 to 4 times a day. Now I don't jerk off ever. I have sex or I don't.
I mean, it's obviously, I mean, I got erections from the breeze. Like the wind would make me erect. So that doesn't happen anymore. So I guess it's.
Why weren't you wearing pants as a kid? What are you, Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie
the Jew.
I'm talking about with the, I don't get it. I don't get elephant. I don't know. Even in pants, you know, breeze when you're a kid, or remember you're at middle school and you brush by a girl, and you'd be like, "Well, I'll be jacking off to that for weeks."
Yeah. Just seeing that, it's crazy. I mean, like I've said this before, but I'm like, I would be hanging out with friends, just dudes, watching like sports, and be like, I have to take a shit. And then I would go in the bathroom and just masturbate and be like, that felt like the amount of time a shit takes.
There's actually a really awkward thing in the bus. In the tour bus. I came in. So you can't shit in the bus, right?
I don't know. Are you asking me? It's not my bus.
No, you can't shit in the bus.
Maybe.
You have to shit somewhere else, right? Shit. So I go in the bus where we're camping and I'm like, is anyone in there? And I see Robert yell from the bathroom, I'm in here. Right. So he's in the bathroom. So he can only be peeing. And then I'm sitting down and he's in there for a long time, which is very awkward because peeing is the only option. And it becomes like an hour. And I'm like, well, he can't be shitting. And he definitely can't be peeing for an hour. So he's just overtly jacking off, you know?
But why is he jerking off for an hour?
Well, even that.
Either way, it's troubling.
It's all troubling. I'm like, what is going on? And what's really troubling is if he is jacking off, he's okay with us all knowing it. Because even when you're a kid and you're jacking off in the bathroom, you can say I'm in the bathroom. Your mom can assume you're taking a shit, but there's no shit option here. So he's okay with us knowing. It was all fucked up. And then I realized after an hour he was actually just in his bed. I just heard the sound from the wrong place.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was like a little. I was like, oh, thank God.
Did I ever tell you this story? I've told it on podcast before, I think, but I was on a flight and I went into the bathroom and just jerked off. I was in my 20s, a horny guy. I jerked off and then I came out of the bathroom and the flight attendant goes, "Hey, what were you doing in there?"
No.
And I was like, "What? What?" And then she opened the door and like looked at, she's like, "Didn't you see the sign? This is out of order." I didn't see there was a sign that said out of order. And then she looked in at the toilet to be like, because obviously the toilet doesn't flush. So she looked in to see like that there's a huge shit that wouldn't flush and there's nothing in the toilet. So she was just like, there's no pee, no nothing. So like, it's clear I didn't do anything. And I was like, ah.
But in that situation, you almost can say, "Don't worry, I was just jacking off." You can say that's like an okay thing to say. "Don't worry, I was just jacking off."
Yeah, I was rubbing one out. Sorry.
And I ate my cum. It didn't even go in the toilet. We're good.
I love your uniform.
So she knew you were jacking off.
I don't know that she knew I was jacking off, but I mean, she must have been like, I didn't shit.
Right.
But masturbating in a fucking airport bathroom and coming out and having someone say, "What were you doing in there?" is not a great feeling.
No. I mean, anytime you masturbate and someone goes, "What were you doing?" That's terrifying. I mean, anytime you leave a bathroom and someone says, "What were you doing in there?" It's like, that's insane. That's like a nightmare. Yeah. But by the way, you know how people talk about fucking in a bathroom in the airplane?
Yeah.
That's not possible.
No, I mean, I think it's possible, I guess, but
there's barely room for me. Like how is it possible? Did they used to be bigger?
I don't know. Maybe the people were thinner,
smaller.
Yeah,
because people talk like Mile High Five Club or whatever. We fucked in the bathroom. I'm like, you're literally, that would be just banging. You just hear, everyone on the plane would just hear banging and like, just move over. There's a little air here. Just get your leg. You just hear banging. And then everyone would watch two people come out.
No, it's insane. I think it was on like private jets, 747s. By the way, was that a mistake, or do you think it's called the Mile High Five Club?
5 Mile High Club, 10 Club. What is it? Mile High 5 Club. What is it?
There's no 5. It's Mile High Club. You throw in high five. Like, do you think the club is they high five?
You high five afterwards when you get out of the bathroom and no one notices.
No, that's what it is. You don't fuck. You go in there and you high five, and then you go back to your seats. It's the Mile High Five Club.
Even that seems hard to do in a bathroom.
Well, now the bathroom, if you're over 5'9", like I have to piss like this, like my head is like on the ceiling.
Imagine fucking like Sarah in there. It's impossible, right?
Why do I have to imagine her? Can I imagine like,
or whatever.
Fucking Elton John or something?
Yeah, Elton
Somebody
John.
Fun.
Yeah, imagine that.
Tiny bathroom.
Just anyone else. But yeah, no, it's impossible. And like, yeah, that's no one's ever had sex in the bathroom. If you've had sex, comment on or message us and show us proof.
Well, maybe I think like Air Force One, maybe like Obama probably fucked Michelle.
At that point, you can just fuck in front of the Secret Service. You don't even have to go to the bathroom. It's a private jet.
Well, the Mile High Club doesn't have to be the bathroom. That's just where you could fuck in the aisle. I mean, as long as you're a mile high.
No, I think it has to be in the bathroom.
It's not the Mile High in the Bathroom Club. It's the Mile High Club.
I guess so. I mean, maybe if they're only referring to private jets, but the assumption is not that it's a private jet. The assumption is that you've secretly gone into the bathroom, even though, by the way, there's always a flight attendant just sitting there with her head right on the door. So you're basically just two people going back saying, "Excuse me," and then both scuffing, squeezing their way into the bathroom. With an attendant just sitting there, and then the door just banging.
I think it's the kind of thing that people make up to make you feel like you should have been part of it. Like, and it's also like illegal, I think. Like, I mean,
I'm sure, right?
I think. I mean, it's got to be indecent exposure or disturbing the peace.
Well, you can't light a fire in the bath. That's like a federal law. Like to even, like smoke a cigarette in the bath. Surely fucking is. I don't. Maybe it's not though. Who knows? Yeah, no. You are in a bathroom though.
But do you think fucking is worse than lighting a fire?
I guess fucking it's not gonna bring down a plane.
Stanhope had that great bit about the no smoking. You know that bit?
Oh, it's like, yeah, black. What are you gonna tell us next? That black people don't have to sit in the back of the bus?
Yeah. It's like no smoke. They make a 10 announcement. No one's thinking about smoking. Hey, folks, black people are welcome to sit wherever they want.
That's a great bit. Yeah.
Great bit. Wait, are we just done? I mean, like we did like a half hour on Evil Dead. I got some other notes.
All right, get some other notes and then.
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Dude, this might be our shortest episode.
Yeah. Well,
are they
these movies aren't great. Let's be honest.
No. Yeah, they're not great. Yeah. Well, I don't know what all right, we're doing something deep next time. All right. We're doing
this time, I had watched one movie. People wanted to hear us talk about Evil Dead. My internet's unstable.
Well, don't say anything. I don't think you can tell. Yeah, I'm good. Are you good?
Can you see me? Am I moving?
Yeah, you're moving.
But yeah, I mean, I just think people love Evil Dead. People know Evil Dead. They knew you'd shit on it quite a bit, and it's a fun episode. And I had already watched one, so I had one down.
That's
we'll
why
do Yorgos next time. It's my round. We're doing Yorgos, and it's not The Lobster. We're watching Dogtooth, and we're watching Killing of a Sacred Deer, and they're both gonna blow your tits off.
I mean, next time it's your round because you're round.
That's what I said.
Okay, I just
that's literally what I said.
I thought you said next time it's my, like you're saying it's my round next, but you're not saying that.
I'm not saying that. Now, what are you picking? What are your picks?
I got to pick it soon. Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck. I don't know. Well, it's too much on the spot. We'll figure it out after. But let's do it after. We'll post about it. Oh, I have an important message I want to say. I'm taking the podcast more seriously. We're going to be, I know we fucked up schedule this time.
We are?
I was taking it seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I am. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm taking it more seriously. I'm sorry we were late this time, but like
your fault.
I'm gonna post the new movies. Everyone hear this. Joe and Ron on Talk Movies. That's an Instagram page. Okay.
Gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge. There's like 300 followers. Whatever. If you're the person who messages me going, I'd love for you to say what movies we're doing. We always do that, but you just didn't see it because we're just posting it, on the story and shit, which is fine. That's totally fair. I am posting it on Joe and Ron on Talk Movies, the Instagram page. Every week, we're going to post it right after we do the podcast. We'll decide it and post it, and you'll see it, not in the fucking story, in the main thing. You'll see it, and you don't have to ask us what movies. You'll know that, but you got to go there. I mean, we'll still post in our stories, but you got to go there for the official record.
Why don't you pick the movies right now and tell them also, I got to watch these movies. I'm going on the road. Give it to me.
I guess we should just pick the movies now since they're definitely going to see this.
I already got next week's lined up.
Fuck. There's a lot of shit on the spot.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll come up with it later.
I'll figure it out.
I'm going to quit in a couple weeks anyways.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, this is a fun one.
It's fun. Nice short. In and out, quickie.
In and out. Yeah, this is good. But we're back on time next week. Thanks for coming. We got a Patreon now. We're going to have a Patreon up, which I'm sorry it took a while, but Joe had to make a fucking movie. We're going to have the Patreon up
we recorded while I was making the movie, which I initiated, by the way.
But we didn't do we haven't done a Patreon forever. We're scamming the public. We got to get one out.
We're not scamming. They have the option to get out.
I don't want them to get out.
I don't either.
I need the money.
I don't want them to get out. I'm saying we're not scamming.
Well, not scamming, but don't.
No scam.
But don't get out.
Don't get out.
Don't get out.
Jordan Peele.
Join us.
Join us.
So where can they find you?
Together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
That's a nice father-son activity, I guess, to rule an entire galaxy.
Yeah, or playing catch like the end of Field of Dreams, which is way better than any Star Wars movie.
I hate catch so much, I'd rather rule a galaxy with an evil father than have to play catch.
I hope you catch AIDS. I'm in Royal Oak, Michigan this week, which is the home of
Sam Raimi.
That's right.
Sam Raimi. I looked it up. Yeah.
How about that?
He's got to be the only one from that place. That's like a very small town.
That's not very small.
No, Royal Oak.
There's a theater. There's a comedy club, a theater. I mean, it's a sizable town. It's a big suburb of Detroit.
What if we're all Royal Oak fans? We just lose everyone.
I will be in Royal Oak this weekend, Comedy Castle. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm going to put out a special. You're putting out a special. Subscribe to our YouTube. That's the future. There's no industry for guys like us anymore. So please,
straight white man's Netflix.
Subscribe, yes, and join the Patreon. For God's sakes, a lot of killer shit up there.
A lot of killer shit from 2 years ago, but we got to do one coming out today. No, we got some great shit. We do. We're gonna put some more other like. Let's talk to some like bigger names on the Patreon.
Yeah, we'll get some big.
We're gonna
do
like
some
De
Louis.
Niro. Yeah,
we'll get some Louis up there.
Yeah.
Bobby D.
Yeah,
the whole cast of Sopranos. They love
have to
me.
listen to Louis talk for an hour, and we should at least do it on the Patreon.
Good point.
We'll do an episode where he talks about which shit in the woods is from which animal, and he can.
Antelope.
That shit right there, that's clearly from a tiger.
Wait, what do you mean a tiger? What does that mean?
Yeah, a tiger.
Why would there be tiger? Why would there be tiger in the Midwest? Though?
Well, at least the joke was right after. We had 5 minutes. I couldn't remember. All right, you can find me at I'm on the road with Louis till October 6th. So it's on his website, louisck.com, and yeah, we're in fucking Iowa tonight, Dubuque tonight. Then we're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Great movie.
Great movie. And then we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. Another great movie, Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
And then we're in Godfather. That's the city in. No, then we're in South Dakota. We're gonna see Mount Rushmore. Oh, but that's a movie, Rushmore.
Oh yeah. There you go. Did you think we haven't already said that though? I don't get it.
What?
You talked about how you're going to see Mount Rushmore, but then you said it like you hadn't said it. I think you're not well.
Did I say that?
I think you're unwell. That's when the elephant joke happened.
Ah, fuck my dick. I said it. Do I have dementia?
I think so.
Oh man, Jesus.
Because you dementia that earlier.
Well, fuck. Well, anyway, it's been a good episode of Mindful Metal Jacket today, and I'm glad you had me on as your sidekick. Yeah. So,
All right.
Wait, that's
Cut.
it. Yeah. No. Wait. No. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube channel. I got my special. And Whitney Cummings. I'm opening. No, I got two more things. I'm opening for Whitney Cummings 8th and 9th in Connecticut. And also I'm at Soul Joe's headlining October 16th.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Really good. Everyone go out to that. I love that room.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Well, this has been really fun.
All right. I'm going to press stop and then we'll figure out. Why aren't you recording? Well, I'll stop. Cut.
God damn it.